Now, so business model innovation can occur along any of these dimensions. But what's important is that once you change one dimension, you have to change the other four to be in alignment. Because the strength of the business model is how effectively your 5 answers carve out a unique market space with advantages that competitors can't copy. It's kind of like a runner. The success of a runner depends upon the mind and spirit, the legs, the heart, the lungs, and the core body strength. That determines who wins. All those pieces are working in alignment. The same with your business model. For example, at Omeda, we had to change, when we changed what business we're in, we changed our target market. It was no longer just the anesthesiologist, but we decided that this hospital administrator that we had kind of viewed as the purchasing agent or the gatekeeper, so to speak, was actually hugely strategic for us. Because if that person didn't understand the safety differences between old and new machines, we wouldn't get the old machines out of the marketplace. And so we made that administrator a strategic target market, and we created this whole educational offering to influence that person. And as a result, we got all the old machines out of the market. We drove up market size. We had a better value promise. We improved safety compared to our new competitor. We got most of that increase in market size, and we solved our product liability problems all at once. A better business model helped us, just like a better business model is helping Electrolux, and we're going to hear later today about a better business model in the pharmaceutical industry. Now, I love this comparison between Dell and Apple, and it actually holds if we look at today's stock prices as well. Business model innovation is being shown by academics to generate more profitability. Dell has a broken business model. You don't even know what Dell's about anymore as one of the computing companies. Versus Apple has a very strong business model focused on making computing effortless and then with the emotional promise of it's cool. And they've built advantages in terms of how they design products so that the products work with each other if you're using different products across categories in Apple, and how easily the products work, how effortless understanding their interfaces happen to be. And so they create new products like the iPhone with its apps, but their success isn't about the iPhone. The success of the iPhone is because of the underlying business model of Apple. Business models work because with the business model, you're aligning all the parts of the organization, including its culture, to create these advantages that anchor the brands of your company. And that's why they're hard to copy. They're relying upon how people work together, skills that depend upon learning and culture, and that's what keeps the products and services coming out of unique business models unique much longer than the products and services coming out of companies that have very weak business models. Every business has a business model. Whether you've talked to your executives about it or not, your company has a business model. And what's tragic is that in most companies, everyone thinks they have a different business model, which is partially why things aren't very well aligned across the functions. I like to think of a business model as the root system and the trunk of a tree. Most companies are only focused on leaves. How many leaves did we get this year, and can we rake them up? But in fact, it's when you're working on the root system and the trunk that you get healthy leaf growth and that you get new branches. And so business model innovation is all about being the ecologist of your organization and creating a healthy root system and trunk. Now, I believe that the conversation of business models can be the bridge that links marketing with the CEO and makes the work of marketing much more important and helpful and pertinent to the issues that CEOs care about, which is growth, profitability, and the valuation of their company. And I'd argue that the highest value-added role for the chief marketing officer, supported by his or her agency and staff, is to lead the business model innovation process in their company. And I think that the marketing person is uniquely situated to do this for a number of reasons. One is marketing understands the process of gaining consumer and market insight. They far more work across functions than other people in the company. They understand positioning, which, if you think about it, all the business model is doing is positioning all of the offering of the company, but with freedom to change all the variables. You're just positioning the totality of the offering. Marketing is charged with the outside-in view. Sales is about the voice of the company to the customer. Marketing is about the voice of the marketplace back into the company. And marketing people tend to be a lot more creative and intuitive, which are key skills needed to innovate your business model. And finally, marketing owns many of the execution strategies. I work with Scott Cooper, who along with Roman Hebing wrote the classic textbook in the US, How to Write a Marketing Plan. And we've actually been working on this process saying, look, most marketing people, when they write their marketing plan, are down here doing annual planning with sales to meet the revenue goal that's been handed to them by the CEO. But in fact, marketing people should start with assessing their business model. In fact, they should start facilitating this assessment with the rest of the leadership team of the company. How strong is our business model? Do we need to innovate it? How might we innovate it? Let's make a new set of business model decisions like we did at Omeda or Electrolux has done, or IKEA did. Make those decisions, then say, what are our 3-year goals? What has to change for us to execute on this business model? What new products might we need? What skills do we need to develop? How might our communications need to change? And then you get involved with annual planning. And this will all be downloadable for you on the website for the Marketing Federation. But basically, Scott and I are showing in the paper we're writing that if you look at the business model strategy decisions, they line up with all the important execution strategy from your product portfolio, your channel strategy, your sales and marketing plan, revenue model, value chain, the technology strategy. The tactics line up under that, and then we know that pricing and product development influence everything along here. So you can see that there can be a continuum of going from the business model strategy down to the tactics supported by IT and HR and finance and those kind of the processes that support the whole of the organization. But what happens in most companies is the C-suite's doing the top line, marketing and sales are doing this, operations people are over here doing this, marketing's doing this, the operations people are doing that, and none of it's aligned. Different people are doing different parts of it, and that's why you end up with inefficiencies and you end up with products that increasingly get commoditized. And you end up with business models where everyone in the industry looks like each other and their products and services are just replacements for each other. And this process should be an annual process of looking at your business model. I'm a rock climber, and one of the things you learn the hard way is that the longer you hold on to the rock and you stop moving, you're doomed. Your legs and your arms just give up and you end up falling off the rock. You know that's true with products and services. If you don't keep changing them, they end up as commodities. And the same is true with business models. They also must evolve. Electrolux is probably now running into the problem that good design is becoming an expectation for products and services in America. It took us a long time to catch up to Europe, but we actually expect good design in what we offer. And so Electrolux is going to have to think about, how do I continue to innovate? They have a very strong professional side of their business. How could they leverage that to create more differentiation in the consumer side of their business? So in conclusion, just remember, whether you have a new product or a new business model, at first, everything feels like it's going to be smooth rafting and you're really excited about it. But over time, because of commoditization, it gets hard and you're working really hard to stay upright in the raft. It's very difficult. You get very focused on what's going on at present in the market. But that's because of this gravity of commoditization that's pulling your products and services and your business model into commodity status. You can't escape this. That waterfall exists. All you can do is know that you're on this river, know that that waterfall's there, figure out how far am I from the point of no return, and try to row upstream to calmer waters, which is what a new business model will give you. Now, a core competency then for marketing experts going forward is business model innovation. There's a great article in October's Harvard Business Review by the Chief Marketing Officer of GE, and she's talking about marketing skills, but she's not even mentioning business model innovation, and yet that's critical for the GE businesses going forward. So this conversation is just starting. It's beginning with the strategists, but business model thinking will become the cutting edge of strong marketing departments, and that conversation is what will allow you to position marketing to the CEO as a really important part of the team, because your group with your agency can facilitate the business model decisions of the company. So I hope you choose to lead business model innovation. It's a very important tool. My book I have a book called Beyond Price, and it's been selected as the first entry by a new business model, a company that's trying to disrupt consulting. They're taking consultants' processes and putting them into a cloud computer software program that companies can download, and it's called Projectware, and it allows teams within a company to do the work that a consultant would normally do with them. And so this process that I have for how do you innovate your business model and align all the parts of the company, that's going to be on this Projectware. And if you give me your card, I'll be sure to have this company get in touch with you if you're interested in that. But again, thank you very much for your time. I do hope you'll learn more and think more about business model innovation.